What a weekend it's been here at the Sascha Energy Ice Canal in Altenberg, Germany. Stop number 5 of the EBERSPA Luge World Cup. We've had 4 races, 2 won by Austria, 1 by Germany, and 1 by Latvia. So a lot of variety on top of the podium, but also a lot of variety on this very challenging course, as we've seen action right from the start curves all the way down to the very tricky corners 13, 14, 15, and 16. We certainly expect the same as we get ready for the final race of the weekend. It's the team relay, the 3rd team relay of the season. And if it's anything like the team relay was last week in Sigulda, Latvia, then fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be an exciting race. Hi again, everyone. I am Tim Singer. As always, so honored to be bringing you the live action from around the world on the World Cup. And also delighted to introduce for the first time this season at the microphone, my co-commentator from Team Argentina, Veronica Ravenna. Veronica, welcome.
Hi, Tim.
Now, I don't want to throw bad news your way because you've had plenty, but you had a lot of adventure on this track here in Altenberg. What is it about this season? And I guess it's always a tough track, but it's been incredibly challenging over the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was totally fine up until today. I don't know if we had warmer training conditions or, the wind isn't too bad right now, but it was just like we hadn't had any other run before.
Right, when everyone from Veronica Ravenna to Julia Tobitz has adventure on this track, you know that things are going to be unpredictable. Now, as you see that length, 996 meters, that's the key stat here, Veronica, because for all of these athletes, they have to start at that very challenging lowest doubles position. And for men such as Dominic Fischneller there, that's going to present a very new challenge, won't it?
Yeah, corner 9 from that double start, it's its own little devil for sure. So we'll just have to hope that they can get it right and stick it, because with these conditions, if they're a little bit sideways, I don't really see that going very well.
Situation so far, as I was saying, it's Egla and Kipp of Austria. They won the opening race this weekend in women's doubles. Then Max Langenhahn of Germany took the men's singles competition. The Latvians right there, Martins Bots and Roberts Pluma, they won gold men's doubles. And then finally, just earlier today, Madeline Egla was one of the few, Veronica, who made it look easy this weekend. She was pretty impressive in that victory in women's singles.
Yeah, so I guess I don't remember the last time we've had such a spread out gold medals, especially going into the team relay. You never know. I feel like no team has it in the bag per se.
No, and in case anyone missed it last weekend, it's the first time I ever remember, and I'm sure it's the first time, as you see the lineup of our largest field of the season. More teams did not finish the relay last weekend than those who finished. And the recipient, the real great recipient of all of that, was there in start number 7, Ukraine. For the first time ever in this discipline, they were on the podium. That was a little exciting amongst all of the chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really great to see them come through and get their medal. They've worked really hard, and they put down really clean runs.
So we're getting ready for our first team, just moments away, getting ready at the top, and it's a debut performance this season for a team that has won an Olympic medal in team relay, that of course being Team Canada. Trinity Ellis will lead the way, then the somewhat veteran doubles team, then Dylan Morse getting his first racing of the weekend, and a young women's doubles team. And some of these athletes you grew up with, Veronica, it really is a rebuilding program still for Team Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're doing so well. Like, they're always in good spirits, and it can't be easy having all the people that you look up to and probably are there to guide you all retire kind of at the same time. But, they're doing great. The men's doubles did great. Trinity today, it was a rough track, but they're doing so great. I'm really happy to see them here.
3 Canadian women qualified into the top 20 into run number 2 in that World Cup race. The top finisher being this woman right here, Trinity Ellis. And the gate opens, and we've said this over the last couple of weeks, but that's a new feature in the team relay, is the gate opening for the first sled.
Yeah, it adds a little bit more of nerve-wracking, but that's all right. See there's the 9, but I mean, she's had the 2 runs today to feel out the ice, so she's able to get it under control.
Trinity, one of the sliders from the Whistler area, lives in nearby Pembroke, Pemberton rather, British Columbia.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking really clean. Little things here and there, but I mean, I feel like it's going to be what team can put down 4 clean runs.
Negotiate the pad, which is upcoming. No problem as the gate opens for the Bulgarian, Evan Wardrope and Cole Zajanski. 13th place yesterday. Canada did not compete last week at the World Cup as they stayed behind for an extended break back home.
Yeah, luckily the pad in this track, it's not too complicated, it's not too high. So I feel like once they make it through 15, you kind of have easy cruise into the pad. And they're looking really solid. I'm thinking maybe the wind has died down.
Yeah, that was such a factor early today. So that's the traditional finish line, 1 additional corner, number 17 before the pad, and it opens the gate for Dylan Moore, seeing his first World Cup action of the season. Dylan failed to qualify for the World Cup race, but did race on Friday in the Nations Cup.
And I do feel like we should also say Dylan is also still a junior, so he was racing with the junior team. So being here in the senior circuit, it's amazing.
Exactly. Canada was competing in some of the earlier races this season, but not in men's singles, it's doubles.
Yeah, they have 2 men, I believe, and they're both still so young as well.
We're hearing a little bit of skidding, but the lines are still okay.
Yeah, just a little tap. I mean, that'll just cost them some time, but these girls, I'm so excited to see them here. They were such great single sliders, and I love that they're partnered together. So I'm really excited to see them put this down.
These girls being Beate Podolski, Kaylee Allen. 15th place yesterday in their World Cup debut in women's double.
Yeah, they're both such great athletes, and ever since I've known them, they've always tried their best to be their best. Oh, a little tap, but she seems to get it out under control. Oh, no.
That was such a problem area for so many of the women earlier today in women's singles. A couple of hard hits cost them all of their time. So the clock will stop when the pads hit, not at the green light. 340.429. There's a lot of extra sliding beyond the traditional finish line.
Yeah, and that corner is usually not too big of a deal, but when you're skidding and you kind of lose control, it's just that one more corner that you definitely don't want to have to go through. But I mean, they're a pretty fresh doubles team. I don't remember if they slid last year together. This might be their first year. So I mean, getting down in Altenberg in these conditions, even though it was a bit rough, is still a huge accomplishment.
First relay done for Canada, and now we get ready for Poland. And Team Poland has had a little bit of a dubious start in the relay competition on the World Cup. 2 races, 1 disqualification, 1 DNF. That disqualification came as a result of this woman right here, Klaudia Domaradska, the very first sled of the first team of the first race of the season, and Klaudia missed the pad. Now, she comes off of a very good race earlier today. I believe she finished 16th or 17th in that World Cup race.
Yeah, she had a really good run, really solid. Claudia's she's been really good these past couple years, and that 9 is just so tricky from double start. But
it's not like the time you have the time, Veronica, during training to practice at the lower start. You're more worried about your traditional start area, right?
yeah, I think some teams used to take one run from a lower start, but now I feel like everyone's pretty solid, so they just kind of risk it and hope for the best.
Well, to the bottom cleanly, but trailing the Canadians. The Canadians lost their time in women's doubles, so they should stay out in front of Poland at least till that point as the gate opens, as you see, for Chmielewski and Kovalevsky. They did not, or actually they finished yesterday in men's doubles, but then were subsequently disqualified due to a sled rate issue.
It's always such a hard one because you change steels, you change something, and sometimes you just forget to check the weight and you don't realize it can be 10 grams and that's it, it's over. I mean, they're looking really clean, but we're not surprised. These boys know how to slide. They know how to do this.
They have been on the podium before in Wintersport in doubles several years ago. Now the pad opens the gate for Mateusz Sokovic. Poland, of course, one of many nations in this sport that doesn't have its own luge track, but this is the closest track to Poland, about a 2-hour drive from the Polish border.
Oh, that was a good save from Mateusz. You can see him really pushing back. He's another, I feel like the whole Polish team is just, they're all solid athletes. They know how to slide.
Deficiency now 1.4 seconds, so even perfect driving for the women's doubles team. I don't believe they'll catch Canada here, but we'll see. Anything can happen. Domovic and Pivkowska, the final sled now for Team Poland. So far, cross your fingers, no incidents in the early going of this team relay event. Maybe we'll have a clean race finally.
That would be really nice to see. Yeah, these girls are putting down so far a pretty solid run, but we know the issues come further down for sure.
They have all weekend long. Let's see this next split time. If it's within like 0.7 of a second.
Oh no.
No, they're having the exact same problem.
It's so hard. I mean, it's hard on the singles, and I can't even imagine on the doubles. It's like driving a double-decker bus, I feel like.
That's pretty well put. Good way to put it. And Poland in second place. But the good news for Team Poland, for the first time this season, they actually finish a team relay, and they'll garner a few World Cup points. What is it, Veronica, as we check out some of the slow-mo replay about this year? I mean, I get it. Corners 11 through 16 are always challenging. This is actually the exit of 9, but what is it about this year that it makes it seem quite a little bit harder than the 2 races last year?
I'll be honest, it's not even this year. It's just yesterday and today during training. Everyone was so clean, and it was warm. There was no wind at all. I just think the conditions just completely changed on us, and the way the wind hits that straightaway between 14 and 15, I feel like it tunnels through and it just pushes the bottom of your runners against the wall.
Karina Buzatoy had all sorts of trouble with the wind, among other things, earlier today in women's singles, as she didn't qualify for a second run, ending up in 26th place. So let's see if she can clean it up now for Romania. The Romanians skipped last week's crazy team relay event due to an injury in women's doubles, but they're back here following a 7th place finish in the World Cup opener.
Yeah, Karina, when she has a clean run, she's super fast, so let's just hope that she's gotten her head straight and she's able to nail this exit. Yep. She's gonna give Romania a nice big lead, I reckon.
Some skidding here before corner 17. but she writes things for the pad in a quarter of a second lead.
Oh,
the advantage.
Sorry to cut you off. The doubles team just didn't pull straight. They went right to the left wall and gave themselves no time to turn the sled around that start corner. And some issues out of 9.
Right, this is the sled that should be used to those early curves.
Yeah, the doubles teams should know how to maneuver this, but I mean, it is tricky. 9 has always been tricky from double start. You just don't have that pressure.
Okay, cleaning it up down here below, but as you see already 7/10 of a second behind Team Canada.
And they hit that right wall before 15, which just throws you off so much.
Well, a rough run for the doubles. We'll see if Vali Cretu can clean it up. And if you look at the lineup, I would venture to say that Valentin Cretu may have more runs in team relay than any other athlete in today's race, because he's pretty much been the men's singles representative since the start of this discipline 10 years ago.
Yeah, Valentin definitely has the experience and he has the heart. He loves the sport. He had some issues down that straight, but I mean, I feel like most people will be, but he's nailing exit 14.
Well, he can be as clean as possible. They're not going to catch Canada at this point due to the early problems.
No, I don't think so. 1.6 seconds.
Vali did a little practice pad. I don't know if you caught that. He lifted his hand up and swiped it at the air about 10 meters before the pad.
Everyone's just so nervous to miss the pad. It's such a horrible feeling.
This is Raluca Stramatraru and Mihaela Manolescu, 11th place yesterday for these two Romanians.
Yeah, their run seems pretty good. I know Raleigh she's been hurt the last couple of weeks, so it's hard having to perform when you're in pain.
Looking for one more Olympics at the end of the rainbow for Raluca, who finished 7th at the Pyeongchang Games in women's singles. Only 11 women's doubles teams will qualify for the games. She had a little bit of a hit right before the pad, but regrouped in time to give Romania a finish time.
And only 2/10 behind Canada. They were, I want to say, 1.4 seconds when they pulled off, so that's a really good run for them.
Yeah, and that gives you a sense of how much time the Canadians unfortunately gave away on the final few curves of the relay.
Yeah, it kills all your speed. It's the last downhill section before you start going uphill, and if you're not going straight, you're going sideways, you're just cutting all that ice.
All right, in the early going here now, Romania in 2nd place, sandwiched in between Canada in the lead, Poland in 3rd place. Now, if you look at the lineup, you've got to figure, and I say this every week because nothing's a sure thing in the relay, you got to figure this is a battle between Germany and Austria for the gold, but then Italy, Latvia, and the USA are the 3 nations probably contending for that final podium position. Famously, I said that last week, Veronica, and we all know what happened. A lot of DNFs and DSQs.
Oh, man. I mean, Altenberg's not quite like Segulda. I feel like, I don't want to say anything, but I feel like we'll have a little bit more teams finishing this week for sure.
Ashley Farquharson coming off of her 3rd consecutive top 6 finish, as she hasn't yet found total perfection, but she is rising pretty quickly and consistently among the best in women's singles.
Yeah, Ashley's on a roll. Anything she does, it looks so clean, even if maybe the line's not the best. She's just adaptable, and she always does it with a smile on her face, which is a really nice quality to see.
Sounded like a bit of skidding, but still down the center of the track. Big advantage over a full second for this doubles team of Marcus Mueller, Ansel Hochschau. Talk about a team that's emerging pretty quickly in the sport of luge. These folks have done a great job in their first season.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like you put 2 athletes together and they work perfectly, and the double sled is just what they were missing all this time, and this double seems to be one of them.
All started with a Junior World Championship for them last year, and then a trio of Nations Cup victories to begin this season. Good lines here, but now the tough part.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a loop, but they're straight out and just a straight line to the finish.
Johnny Gustafson in the house now. Johnny, a 13th place earlier today was one of his poorest showings of the season, but it was the fastest of the three American men, the best of the American men. Difficult day yesterday in men's singles for Team USA.
Yeah, I feel like it was a difficult day for most countries. Yesterday and today. I don't think any country could be 100% happy with their performance. Everyone had some sort of mistake.
Nice job to keep it from bouncing back and forth there for Johnny Gustafson. Let's see how big this advantage is down here at the bottom with a podium-winning doubles team getting ready at the top. Reaction time, pretty good. Siobhan Forgan, Sophia Kirkby. Their third podium of the season yesterday with a third-place finish, and I believe that moved them into second place in the World Cup standings, maybe third. Moved them from second to third.
Yeah, they're doing so good this season. They're getting track record after track record. They found their stride, and it's so nice to see them just nailing it and enjoying it.
The top athlete, born in Australia before moving to the U.S., the bottom athlete, a native of the Lake Placid Adirondack Mountain region. Down to the finish now. This should be a gigantic advantage over the first three nations. The question is, how will it compare to the next two? 4.2 seconds. So the USA, for the time being, has something to cheer about.
Yeah, that run by the girls was super clean. I love Siobhan's smile. She's always so happy. Yeah, that was a really good save. The whole team they knew what to do.
Team USA has a history of doing well in team relay in major events, even when they're shut out of the podium during the course of the other races. So all four athletes put down the fastest times in their respective disciplines. That's key as they hold the top spot. 4 down, 5 still to come.
Yeah, Latvia is a team that I'm really excited to see. I'm really excited to see how they all work put together. They've all had a little bit of a rough weekend, but they're such strong athletes that they might just be, a team relay might just be what they're needing.
Yes, another nation that does well in this discipline. Twice Latvia has been on the podium at the Olympic Games in team relay. Here's Alina Bota, a little bit of a disappointment in 13th place today following her victory last weekend. Bota, now 24 years old. She lists as her favorite hobby shopping, of which there are not a lot of opportunities here at Altenberg.
No, I think the kebab shop is the biggest attraction we got.
One little sporting goods store at the base of that small snowboarding hill in town.
She looks a little uncomfortable, but I mean, on this ice, who wouldn't be?
Well, she is about a quarter of a second behind Ashley Farquharson, but here's a doubles team that certainly could make it up. Bots and Pluma. Yesterday, they captured the top spot on the podium for the second time this season.
Yeah, they're just another team that is just killing it. It's found their stride.
Christers Apriots waiting at the top, coming off a 4th place finish yesterday, but let's see if this can turn green. It will be pretty close by the pad if they keep those lines clean.
Yeah, they're doing really good. And I mean, Christers is such a strong start that, 8 thousandths of a second, 800ths of a second.
Krister's a little bit of a difficulty with the settle, but now let's see how he negotiates the exit of corner number 9. Pretty well done, as he opens up 1800s now on the Americans.
Yeah, the whole Latvian team is just so strong on the starts, and I feel like on the team relay, it makes such a difference. And I mean, he's sliding beautifully as well.
Oh yeah, this is just as pure a run as we've seen so far today.
This feels like a celebratory run for sure, Tim.
Will it be a run at the podium is the question. Probably, if they can keep it clean. 7/10 now over the USA. And here's a very young Latvian doubles team, Robanica and Bogdanova, but they ended up on the podium for the second time this season yesterday.
Oh no.
This is a problem.
They held it decently well. They didn't let that ping pong all the way down the straight, which is good, but the time you kill at the top, you just can't really make it up, but I mean, they're still in the green.
6/10 at the last stop of the clock. This will be telling now at this spot. It's down to 3/10. That should be enough because they handled 12, 13, 14 okay.
I think it'll be tight for sure, but let's see what happens. Oh, wow.
With the pad actually opening it up. You know, that's what this young Latvian women's doubles team has done well. They've surprised a lot of people with incredible speed down below, like the Americans, Forgan and Kirkby. I mean, no one's caught up to the Austrians in women's doubles.
Yeah, that was surprising. I didn't think they'd open it up that much. Just that little bit, you can see the ice just cutting down the back. It's so cold out today that the ice is just so hard, and you can't cut into it and get that grip.
Well, Latvia in podium position for the time being, and you feel would be the favorite to hang on to that spot, with Italy going next, because Italy's got a couple of young doubles, women's doubles athletes competing for the first time. But before we get to them, we'll start with Sandra Robacher with a season best 7th place finish earlier today in women's singles. Sandra, actually, of the 9 teams, we get a preliminary start list at the beginning of the day, and then they can change the start list after the women's singles race. And 5 of the 9 women were replaced in today's race, Sandra being one of them.
Yeah, Sandra did really well today, and I mean, she's doing so good considering everything that happened with her shoulder, and just her energy level is there, and she's still trying and keeps going, which is really good. I feel like a lot of athletes that go through half of what she had to go through would have called it quits by now.
Yeah, it's been incredible, and she's racing right now on a track where she won her only World Cup race. Track is in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I look outside, it's not raining. It's a little bit cloudy, like you can't see the blue sky, but I don't think it's very humid out there.
Reader Keinswaldner on the ice now, and it's almost tongue-in-cheek. It's not raining, because we all remember last year's World Cup here in Altenberg, where the rain just never let up. And that's supposed to happen in Wintersport, but not here.
Yeah, and it's such an uncovered track that once it starts raining, there's not a lot you can do about it.
Except if you're Max Langenhahn, the only thing you can do is tap your feet and run number 1 to get a better start number in the second heat.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like Max has proven to us that no matter the condition, no matter the track,
he can do it.
He can do it.
All right, Italy trailing by a pretty wide margin is looking for the moment like they could be in a race for 4th place at the end of the day if all things hold to form, because it's a 1-second deficiency handed over to Dominik Fischnaller, who yesterday won his first podium of the season, bronze, which is of course what he also won at the last Olympic Games.
I'm not really sure where they lost that second. I think Sandra lost half a second and the double's the same, and I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I wouldn't say it was half a second slower.
No, and to be honest, there's no way this women's doubles team coming up even with perfect lines, no way they're going to cut into a 1 second deficiency.
No, yeah, I think it'll be maybe 1.4 seconds. Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. But all the same, it's great to see these two, Alexandra Oberstolz and Katharina Kofler, their first ever World Cup team relay. These are a pair of 17-year-olds racing for just the second weekend, actually the first weekend in doubles, as Oberstolz took part in singles last weekend.
Yeah, and just at 17, that's incredible. And I mean, they're looking pretty solid. Let's see how this pans out. Yeah, this has been a pretty good run.
Yeah, this is a team with a lot of potential. There were 3 Italians in women's doubles yesterday, so the very fact that these 2 youngsters made the relay tells you something. But all the same, they're a distant 3rd place, 2 seconds behind the Latvians. USA in 2nd. We've still got 3 remaining. 1 we figure will not contend for the podium, but then we have Austria and Germany, who we expect will battle for the top spot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think this is Anna's first relay for Team Germany of the season. I may be wrong, but she slid really well today, so we'll see how she stacks up.
As you see, 3rd place times for all of them except Dominic, who had a 2nd place finish time, second only, I would guess, to Krister Zapriots. Now Team Ukraine. And let's just call this a victory lap for the relay team, who last weekend finished on the podium for the very first time in World Cup team relay. They had a bronze medal. That doesn't figure to happen this weekend, since Latvia, the USA, and the Italians have already done something they didn't do last week. They finished.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was amazing last week. The track was so hard, and to be one of the 3 teams that finished is such an achievement. And then on top of that, they got the podium.
Juliana Tanitska, the first to go, 23rd place earlier today.
Yeah, it's nice that the girls have had at least a little bit of a tester of the track. Yeah, and she was ready there. That over there was where the wind was hitting you out of 14, and she was ready with her foot to catch it. So that's definitely coming from experience of the ice of today.
She gives away nearly a second to Elena Bota. Tanitska done. Now the doubles team of Hoy and Kaczmar. 17th place yesterday in their race on the World Cup.
Oh, just a little skiddy. But they're controlling it pretty well. Exit Kreisel's not too big of an issue from double start. I feel like by going that much slower, you just have all the time in the world to control it out. Yeah, they're doing pretty well.
Skidding at that point, staying down the center of the track. Let's hear the pad go at 3 seconds to Anton Dukash. Anton last week in Latvia had the very difficult task to sit on the sidelines, Veronica, as his friend and teammate Andre Monzi was part of that podium performance.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really good to have 2 athletes. You know, they can challenge each other. It gives you something to strive for, something to push for. So it's great. It's great to see one time Dukash, one time Monzi.
And Dukash has a history of pretty good performances on this track. Not so much there in that transition.
Yeah, I really don't know what's happening. Like, all week, it hasn't been like this, or hasn't been this many issues, and that doesn't look like it was the wind. I wonder what's going on.
Racing at the moment with the Canadians for a top 5 in today's competition, or a top 6 it would be. Right now, advantage Team Canada, unless this final Ukrainian team of Shtechkiv and Mok can make up some time, and they pretty well can. They're experienced, the Canadians are not.
Yeah, they hung on a little bit too much on Kreisel, and I mean, once you do that, there's not a lot you can do, but they seem to get it under control. It'll come down to this. Oh, that was quite nice and clean and straight.
They have a chance to catch Canada here. That would mean they'd be in 4th place at the moment with 2 remaining. Very tight between the 2 right now. Latvia will hang on to that spot and earn a podium as Ukraine ends up in 6th place. Actually, they fall behind Canada as well as Romania, losing a lot of time down below. Latvia officially now on the podium. The USA off of the podium by 1 position, as they'll root for some sort of mishap from Austria or Germany.
Yeah, the ice today just got the better of them. I think by lacking the grip out of 14, it just throws you over to the right wall.
Ukraine done. They will always have that podium from last week to remember. But Team Latvia stays out on top. Austria and Germany, big surprise. They have been the 2 front runners this season, with each of them having 1 win and 1 second place in the 2 World Cup relays held in Oberhof in Sigulda. This is the 3rd of 6 stops this season, or 5 rather. 1 was canceled. One relay, the opening one in Innsbruck. And what happened there?
It seemed really odd. We got the yellow light, and then as she was starting to get ready, the gates just opened. Oh, and that was too high out of 9.
All sorts of trouble. We had a couple of protests last week stemming from issues with the gate with the women's singles. So we'll look for word on what might happen here.
It may have just been the angle that we saw it at, but from what I saw, yeah, that was a little too close, but it could have been within the timing that they give.
Madeline Egla, fresh off of her 3rd victory of the season earlier today in women's singles. She had a fast start. She had the mistake that cost her dearly, as she's a half second behind Kendia Aperiod. And the doubles team also a little shaky at the start, Frauscher and Mueller.
Yeah, this is not the race that Austria was hoping for. Again, too low through the middle of 9 and then up in the end, just like Madeline did. I feel like, I mean, anything can happen, but I think it's too many mistakes to battle Latvia.
Really, they're in a fight right now with the United States for the 3rd podium position. They certainly could make it up. Women's doubles still coming up. Before we get to them, we've got Nico Gleisha. Let's see what type of disadvantage Nico has here. We have more skidding. It's a full second. So the USA licking its chops right now. Nico also far from perfect there in the start corner.
Yeah, I mean, Nico's going up against Christers, but then you also have that that Austrian double who, if anyone can do it, I think they can.
I was about to say, yeah, they have been the most dominating sled in all of World Cup over the past month. Still waiting at the top, Selena Egla and Laura Kipp. Let's see what Nico can do to cut into this Latvian lead. Losing a little bit of time to both Latvia and the USA.
Yeah, I think 1.4, 1.3 seconds is going to be a bit much.
1.3 is, can they catch? They'll need 9/10 up on the Americans to just make it onto the podium.
This was, yeah, not the performance from the Austrian team we were expecting, but I mean, these girls are doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, Veronica, all the same, it is just a thing of beauty to watch Selena and Laura over the course of the last several weeks.
It's so nice to watch them slide. They're just in perfect sync, and they're having no issues. Like, it's just another ordinary day.
And they're going to make it closer than you would have originally thought. They need to be within 4/10 to be on the podium here as they hit the pad. They just miss out. So the United States, which seems to make it onto the podium more weekends than not in team relay, sometimes by surprise, they've done it again as Austria is back off of the podium,
And we
pending
can
what
see-
might happen to Germany.
We can see there she wasn't even fully back when the gate opened, so I wonder if that was maybe her, she didn't quite hear the announcer, or if that was a gate issue, so we'll find out in a little bit, I guess.
Right, we'll try to get word if there is any sort of protest. Did you catch what color the light was? Had it turned green?
No, I mean, it goes obviously red to yellow to green, but at least in my feeling, it didn't stay yellow long enough. Madeline didn't quite have the time to push all the way back before the gate opened. But it could have been her timing. I don't know.
It was a rare, it might have been Madeline's first time actually with that relay. She might have done it a couple of weeks ago in Oberhof, but with the gate opening. Now Anna Bierreiter. Anna finished second earlier today in the women's singles competition. That was her best, in fact, her first podium of the season, a 5-time World Cup winner.
Yeah, I think...
Germany, if they... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this is the breakthrough race for Anna for the season, and I think we're going to be seeing her on the podium a lot more.
Yeah, that would not be surprising. They just need clean lines, and it's victory number 2 for the team that has won 50 all-time World Cup relay events.
She tapped that right wall, which was a bit dangerous, but I mean, she managed to hold on to it perfectly. She didn't even look like a mistake.
Still 0.3 of a second in back of Candia Apariot, and now 0.4. And that's a little bit surprising, as the track still seems to be pretty fast, but what do we know, right? We're no longer a track side.
Yeah, and I mean, the Tobies, I think if anyone can catch them, it'll be the Tobies for sure.
And Max Langenhahn waiting on deck, and Degenhardt Rosenthal. So plenty of time still for Germany to make its way to the top of the leaderboard here.
That's very true. It'll come down to this for the doubles. Quite a bit of skidding before 15, sorry.
This will be very interesting. Max has got a lot of work to do here as the pad gets hit over a half second, the advantage Latvia over Germany right now. 2 more sleds remaining here to conclude this World Cup weekend. Will Germany capture gold, or will it go to Latvia?
That position from Max is just incredible. He's just so confident in his sliding and his equipment. He doesn't even need to see what's going on. He can feel it all.
2-time winner so far this season in men's singles, the 2-time defending World Cup champion in that discipline. Beautiful lines, but losing time. This is a little bit remarkable. I haven't seen a lot of mistakes, Veronica.
Yeah, no, Max was pretty spot on. And he lost 2 more tenths. That's really surprising.
That is a lot to ask of Jessica and Cheyenne, the final sled of the weekend. They've been on the podium 4 times this season, but 0.6 of a second to make up on Latvia, and the 2 young Latvian women's doubles team was very fast down at the bottom.
Yeah, they had some mistakes, so I mean, if Jessie and Cheyenne pull out a perfect run, I don't know, it could be close, but I don't think there's enough track from double start.
Right, I think the race right now is for second between Germany and USA. Germany making inroads, they could catch Latvia.
It'll be close for sure.
This extra part of the track could work to Jessica and Cheyenne's advantage. And they hit the pad just 0.2 of a second back. So it's enough to earn a top 2 position, but Latvia wins the competition ahead of Germany, USA, Austria, and Italy. That was an exciting finish.
That was a really nice run by the girls.
did everything they could to try to cut into what seemed to be an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, they did. They did really well. None of the German team really made a big mistake anywhere, so maybe, oh, except for the doubles here. But maybe the track wasn't quite holding up. But that was a great run, especially in front of their home crowd.
Germany will take over the top spot in the World Cup standings as the other two teams on the podium, Latvia and USA, had a big 0, no points last week with their DNFs at the race in Sigulda.
The poor American team is just freezing up there. They've been there for a little while.
Check at the standings. Latvia moves into a 3-way tie with Italy and Austria with 7 all-time World Cup victories in team relay. Russia stays in second place with 12 victories. And of course, Germany notably won for the 50th time last week. 50 for Germany, 12 for Russia, 7 now for Italy, Austria, and Latvia. A lot of teddy bears to pass out here at the end of the final race.
I love that they're giving out teddy bears. I always felt a little odd, you know, when they gave us the flowers and then the next day we're leaving. But the teddy bears are something that the athletes can take on and take all the way home.
Well, we'll have these World Cup standings showing up in just a second. Germany will take over the top spot. Austria, I believe, despite the 4th place finish, will hang in the number 2 position as those two nations figure to do battle the rest of the season.
That's a great day for Anna, 2 silver medals.
A little surprising, Veronica, Max and the Tobys losing time to Latvia. I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
Yeah, the Tobys had that big mistake in 15, just skidding all through the first half of the corner, so that can be that. But Max, I have no answers towards that.
USA on the podium for the first time this season, and Latvia, for that matter, in team relay.
And it's great to see a team relay with no DNFs.
I know, what a difference a week makes on a different track, a different pad position.
Yeah, Oberhof will be another one. I mean, it's a mixed event, but the pad is in not the best place.
And actually, it's Wintersport next week where there will be a team relay. When we return to Oberhof, it'll be the second mixed team event. World Cup standings, Germany now out in front ahead of Austria. Ukraine will thrive for another week, low in the basket, being in the top 3 in the standings. So for the weekend here, Germany, which was overshadowed by Austria last year on this track at the World Championships, they have far and away the most podiums with 7. Austria captures 3, Latvia 2 of them, both wins, and the United States 2 podiums, both 3rd place finishes. Italy finally breaking through as well onto the podium with a bronze medal in men's singles. Veronica, we're off to Wintersport. Will you be joining the tour there and the rest of the way out?
I will be. I'll be spending one night tonight in Dresden and then driving up to Wintersport tomorrow.
Well, the best of luck to you. Next weekend, we'll see you there. And thanks so much for a great job with the call of today's team relay.
Perfect. Thanks for having me, Tim.
That's Veronica Ravenna, Team Argentina, making her way across Germany and then back to her hometown for the World Championships 4 weeks from now in Western Canada. Hoping to hear from some of the top athletes as Patrick will make his way down to the leader box for the interviews to conclude this weekend of racing in Altenberg, Germany. We're still hearing the celebration there. Just a great Sean Christers. Apriodes had a good run, one of his best of the weekend. The young women's doubles team for Latvia. They are going to be around for a while. And it's only a matter where they could potentially be challenging the Americans, Germans, and Austrians for the top of the podium. It's been a terrific weekend of racing here, as usual, in Altenberg, without the crazy weather that we had last season, but some exciting action along the track from top to bottom. Let's hear from the third place finishers from Team USA.
Guys, congratulations. What a team relay here. It was quite the challenging track. How do you feel after your P3 here?
I feel good. It was challenging. This track is always hard for me, but team relay is always fun, and I know that no matter what happens, the team's got my back.
What was the challenging part for you?
For me, it was definitely curve 9 and a little bit out of curve 14 as well. Coming down to that low speed after sliding from men's start all week, it's definitely a big change. But luckily, like Ashley said, I had the team to back us up, and they helped carry us to a medal for sure.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great point from both of those American athletes. You can't do it without the backup of all of your teammates. Not one run, not 2 runs, not 3. You need 4 solid runs to be on the podium in team relay. Let's hear from the winners from Team Latvia.
Robert, congratulations here on the podium. It was really challenging track. We saw a lot of mistakes here, but you guys really delivered. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel great for the team and for our run too. I feel proud. Our team managed to bounce back from the last mistakes in team relays. So we are really happy. We are really happy it worked out, and we are looking forward to next team relays. Thank you.
Indeed, after a very disappointing disqualification on their home track, or a DNF at least, last weekend, silencing the spectators from Latvia, they come back not just with a podium, but a victory here in Germany. Just a couple of pieces of business remaining here at the Saschen Energy Ice Canal, as we hope to hear from the second place and World Cup leading athletes from Team Germany.
Congratulations on an amazing run here. The team performed really well, but you had some challenges down the track, right?
I know that the boys double, they had some problems with the wind after 14. Our run was pretty good. We came out of 9 good. So I think we can quite happy about that. The Latvians were so strong today. So congratulations to them.
The Latvians were very strong, but a very humble Jessica Degenhard, who she and Cheyenne pretty much vaulted Germany from a sure third place position up 1 spot in second. Great weekend of racing here. 3 victories by the Latvians, also 2 Austria and 1 by Germany. World Cup racing. It is now Winterberg, but a terrific job by event manager Jens Morgenstern and the entire crew of track workers here in Saxony. We now head to the Hochsauerland cross country to Winterberg for World Cup stop number 6 in just 6 days. We hope you'll join us then. Until we come to you from Winterberg, for Veronica Ravenna and our entire FIL television crew, I'm Tim Singer. Thanks for joining us, and so long from Altenberg.